In the topic of protist, we will be discussing about the protozoa today. Proto means before or early or ancient. And zoa comes from the zoo, which is related to the animals. So protozoa are ancient animals. So if there is an organism which is unicellular, which is containing the heterotrophic habits, it does not go for the photosynthesis, then we will be including that organism under the definition of protozoa. The protozoans are neither animal nor plants, but single-celled eukaryotes that show animal characteristics such as motility and heterotrophy. They are movable, they are moving on their own, and they are heterotrophs, as we have discussed earlier. They do not make their own food. Instead, they take the food from their environment. And they are able, some of them are able to form cysts. The first group of protozoa are the foraminiferae. The foraminiferae are shelled, and these are heterotrophic protozoans. These are the protozoans which are containing shells, which may be some sort of hard material, made up of some hard material. And as we know that something, when it is hard, it will be part of, when these foraminiferae will die, these hard part will sink into the bottom of the ocean, and they will form the sedimentary rocks there. So we can see the sedimentary rocks formed by the foraminiferae in the Phanerozoic era or eon. So they are having the considerable biostratigraphic and paleo environmental value. So depending upon their sedimentation rate or the different growth patterns of these foraminiferae, we can see that what sort of paleoclimates were there, what sort of environment they were living in, and what stratigraphic means that they will give rise to some understanding of the layering of the earth, that how does the layering or the stratigraphy takes place. So then the next group is Radiolyrium. The Radiolyrians are marine unicellular planktonic protists with delicate skeletons. So marine, that means they are living inside the ocean. Unicellular, that means they are made up of one cell. And planktonic means that they are drifting in the ocean, and they are the protists which are present inside the ocean, and they contain not the hard calcareous but the delicate skeleton, usually composed of framework of the opaline silica. Opal means the very, very opaque. Silica is the sand. So when they die, they will, sink to the bottom in the form of sand. So, and what was their origin? Their origin was in the mid-Cambrian or earlier, and they became common in the Ordovician period. And they are often found in the deep sea current associated with major subduction zones. So what is the deep sea current and what is the subduction zone? Deep sea currents are the, ooze, the siliceous ooze. Something, if the silica is going down and down, it will form some mass, a mud-like structure in the deep bottoms of the sea, and that is called current. And with the pressure, these currents will consolidate it, and these will be preserved in the form of fossils. And major subduction zones are the zones where there is, if we go along the continental reef, it will, rapidly go down inside the ocean, and that is called subduction zone. The Radiolyrian commonly occur in oceanic fasciae preserved in mountainous belts. So what happens that when two oceanic fasciae, that means two plates inside the ocean, when they combine, and the continental plates, when they combine, they will, do some damage to each other, and they will be forming some fasciae. They will come up, and in those parts we will be, those are called opholites. And in this way we can see their different traces of Radiolyrians there. And with the help of studying those Radiolyrian, we can see that how the seabed has changed along the period of time. So in this diagram, you can see the stratigraphic ranges of main foraminiferan groups. We start from the Cambrian, Ordovician, Silurian, Devonian, Carboniferous, and Permian, right? So starting from the past to coming to the present, which is Paleozoic, Mesozoic, and Cenozoic era. And we can see that the Amodicidae are agglutinates which were formed the earliest, and later groups are formed along the way. Wherever it is containing more width, these groups were much more prevalent, and as their width is in the form of a line, that means they were not so much prevalent in that era. So this was about the stratigraphic ranges of the main foraminiferan groups, which are based on their different characteristics such as benthic, planktonic, porcelaneous, microgranular, or agglutinates. These have been classified, and based on their classification, these have been seen when they were prevalent in some period of time. So there comes the acritarchs. The acritarchs are a mixed bag of entirely fossil, hollow, and organic walled microfossils that are impossible to classify. We do not know what are their origins because they are so much different from each other, but still they look like living organisms at some point. So these acritarchs are probably polyphyletic. That means their origins are not the same. Poly means many, phyletic means the origin. So they are coming from multiple origins, and collectively these are called acritarchs. And then comes the dinoflagellates. As the name indicates, these are containing the flagella. So dinoflagellates are whirling whips, comprise a group of microscopic algae with organic walled cysts. These are containing the organic walled cysts. That means that the material which is making the cyst walls around them, it is carbon in nature. So dinoflagellates biomarkers have been identified in upper Proterozoic and Cambrian rocks. So that means these dinoflagellates were much more prevalent in these era. A number of Paleozoic acritarch taxa may be in fact dinoflagellates. So some of the unidentified fossils may be, which are found in the Paleozoic era, may be the dinoflagellates as well. And the last one is the Coeliophora. Coelio, as the name indicates, cilia. Cilia are the small, very small microscopic hair-like structures which are present on the surface of a microorganism, and these are help movement of the food along the body of the organisms. So these are consist of some 8,000 species of single-celled organism that swim by the beating cilia, and they have been prevalent during the Tithonian, which is Upper Jurassic, to the Albian, which is Middle Cretaceous period in the life history of the Earth.